Greetings, petrolheads, my name is the Tom, you're on my gaming channel, and it's time for another episode of Automation, the car company tycoon game. So today I'm gonna be building a 1990s sports coupe, and like not a replica. I built like a custom built a car that I am going to design on my own, not inspired. Well, inspired by others, but you know, it's not a replica. So with the I really like this body show, which is inevitably why I'm gonna use this one for the 90s coupe, because well, in the 90s you only had two basic coupe shapes, or at least here in the game. This one, then a larger version of it, which I count as one, and that one, which resembles more like an Alpha GTV or something like that. I did that replica on my channel, you can check it out. But I'm gonna go with this one for now. I really like long back windows, because just, you know, I just like it. There's no, I don't think I need to explain that further. And so, I'm gonna give this a relatively short rear end, and make this a little bit flatter. Oh yeah, I like that basic shape. So let us give this thing an aluminium chassis, a longitudinal engine placement, because I do prefer rear-wheel drive over front-wheel drive, and then some plastic panels. We're also gonna flare the rear arches here, and something I must not forget, so I'm gonna say this right now, because I might otherwise forget it later. I wanna discuss something, and that is the quote-unquote the future of my channel, if you will, because I've noticed that like 95% of my total views come from automation, and 3 of the remaining 5% is views from other games that are, you know, car related, like you know, videos with races in GTA, Grid Autosport, Need for Speed Underground 2, like my indie game videos, or my videos about MOBAs and so on, they don't get viewed very much at all. So I blame that exclusively on myself not being good or entertaining enough. And with that, I wanted to ask you guys, would you prefer me doing more racing games, more, you know, car related games, not necessarily only racing games. I'm also thinking of stuff like Car Mechanic Simulator 2015 or something like that, or you know, or do you prefer it the way it is, with, you know, 4 automation videos per week, and some variety with some indie games, some MOBAs, with a little bit of everything. What do you guys prefer? So I am going to post a straw poll, and I'm gonna put that put the link to that into this description of this video, so you guys can actually decide and vote. With that being said, I made a custom bumper. I hope you could see what fixtures I used, and I'm going to put the number plate like right here, pretty heavily inspired by Japanese cars of the time, I admit that. And of course we're gonna make some headlights for this thing, and we still also need a main grille. I'm not totally sure whether I want to make this a, you know, AMW car, or if I want to make it just any sort of car that isn't particularly that doesn't have to be, you know, of my own make. But I'm gonna try this on for size here, like this right here, and then that one inside of it. With the patch on here, like this. And the music's faded, so everything's a little bit, well, actually a lot more quiet. And I'm actually gonna make those a little bit longer so that they're as long as the, you know, as this grill right down here. So, and then I'm gonna give this thing some headlights. Probably pop-up headlights. Yeah. And then maybe some smaller headlights underneath those. And then an indicator as well. I now also made some thumbnails for my automation videos, which you've probably already seen at this point. And now let's give this thing a little bit of a power dome on the bonnet, because this is going to be a relatively fast car. Like so. Oh yeah. Awesome. Now everybody can see that this is a fast car. Like, it couldn't be more obvious than this. Now, some door handles would probably be advisable so that people can actually drive this thing. And for the rear end, I thought of something along the lines of, you know, some plastic with some headlight or tail lights, excuse me, on it. Something like probably not like this though. I'm going to make it differently, and that is with the use of these things. So there is that. Actually, let's make him smaller, because we do want the actually no, wait a minute. I'm gonna use that grill right there. However, once you get, excuse me, once we get, what do we do about that? That's a good question, because I know that these things, yeah, won't help us here. Oh, actually, maybe they do. Actually, they do if placed correctly. Nice. Okay, so now I know that, and I can actually put some tail lights on there. Make this thing larger maybe. And I'm gonna use those surrounded with plastic, because they blend in better. Now what? I'm still not decided on how exactly I want to make this thing look, but I think these should go further down here and more in the middle like that. And I'm gonna use some of these. Like right there. Then I'm gonna put the number plate in the middle. Like that. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. And then put some indicators. Like right there. Do we leave it like this, or do we make a custom shape for these red lights? I honestly think it looks alright as is. So let us put a wing on this thing. More like this. Yeah, baby. Good. Now our rear end looks very much Integra-ish. That's fine though. It's the Integra is not a bad looking car or anything like that. And let's remember that these are the 90s. They did have lips on the rear end, but they did not have like, or at least, you know, sports coupes in this price range did not have real diffusers or anything like that. So, and let's give this thing some exhaust. Actually, now where do we put the badge? Where do we put the badge? I say we don't put a badge on it, or we could do it like this. And then drag this across like so, and then put the badge on there. Which is what I'm actually going to do. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. Good. Let's choose a color here. Dark blue, orange, white, black, maybe? Gray. I think I'm gonna leave it in gray. Looks pretty good. And now we're gonna give it a rear-wheel drive and build a new engine. Well, we don't need to name the car yet. However, what we do need to do is put in here a let's make it an inline 6. 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium. Now what about the size? Oh, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to address besides the straw poll thing. I do realize that I got a bunch of requests for, you know, what type of car I should build. Like somebody requested me to build a car with 2,300 to 2,500 horsepower. Another person requested me to build a car that can lap the airfield track in less than 110. Somebody else requested me to build an engine with 1,000 or more horsepower and with a lot of turbo lag. And I'm gonna build all of these things, don't get me wrong, but I will probably do it on my Twitch as soon as I start streaming, which is, if not by the end of this month, definitely sometime in July. So at that point I'm gonna, well, from then onwards I'm gonna be streaming regularly, and yeah, then I'm gonna build all these, all the fun stuff on the stream, because I do think it will be more, it will be better suited for that, because on the stream I can get, you know, immediate feedback on what I did or didn't do, new requests and all that good stuff. I can answer questions immediately and whatnot. I can explain just like here what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and so on. Yeah, I think the stream would be better suited for that. So I'm gonna keep it a single configuration here. It's not a high-end sports car or anything like that. So let's give this thing like 70 ignition timing and 6800 RPM limit, long turbo exhaust, and since this is a 3.5 liter engine, I'm assuming it'll make around 300 horsepower. 2 straight through mufflers, or at least we can tune it to that. Yeah, obviously we're now way below what I thought it would make, but actually I like this. I like this power curve. And with that being said, I will only slightly... What? Oh, the pistons are reaching their RPM limit. Not anymore, but now we get valve float. Why do we get valve float when we have 4 valves per cylinder and an RPM limit of less than 7,000 RPM? I don't understand. Also, this actually gave us torque. 250 horsepower is totally fine with me. So is the torque curve. And let's move on to trim. I'm gonna give this car a single clutch transmission with 6 speeds, which is quite high tech for 1995. But it'll be a fast car, and therefore we're gonna gear it as such. And 30 spacing should be fine. A viscous LSD will probably give us less wheel spin. Sports tires, 16s, because they didn't really use much larger rims back then. 205s front. Yeah, 225s rear should do the job. It's gonna have some wheel spin, but that's exactly the fun of a car like this, isn't it? And alloy rims. Solid discs, but pretty large, in 4 pistons front, 2 pistons rear. We're gonna tune those and optimize them later. Do I want this car to be really fast on the top speed side of things? I don't think so. Semi-clad will do it. We don't need this much rear downforce, especially since we have a lip and a wing on the rear, so we can afford to go a lower wing angle. Cooling was obviously way over the top. We're gonna add some brake airflow. Gonna give this thing 4 seats, standard interior and entertainment. Yeah, traction control. Because, well, actually no traction control. Because 250 horsepower is not a staggering amount of power, and people should be able to handle that. Even in, well, especially in 1995, where traction controls didn't really exist yet. Yeah, of course there were some, but they were not very refined yet at all, even in those cars that had the option of a traction control system. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it without traction control, and we get 45.9 drivability, which is really good. The car is light, 1047.6 kilograms. The economy is actually fantastic for a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 6. And we're gonna tune this thing some more. 45.8, yeah, 5.8 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, about 45% wheel spin. Let's see, we do need to optimize this graph though. It is very drivable, and actually with that I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine, because this is not a performance car or anything like that, so we don't need the maximum sportiness that we can get, and for that reason I'm content with having 1.0 drivability. That is exactly the kind of sound that I love. Less than 19 seconds from 0 to 200 kilometers an hour. That's actually really good. Let's see what our actual top speed is going to be like. 272. Yeah, so I was not that far off with my guess. And so let us just optimize the brakes. So we're way over the top with the brakes. We can make those guys a lot more comfortable, like 20 right here, and then 20 down here as well. We lost a little bit of sportiness, but we gained more drivability and comfort. Well, 0.3 points in comfort, and we lost 0.4 in sportiness, but you know, combined we gained more drivability and comfort than we lost in sportiness, so that's what I'm getting at. And with the arrow, can we optimize from here? Yes, we can. We can definitely give it some more front downforce, so that we don't 86 seems to be the sweet spot. What the heck is this graph? What the heck is this graph? Like, is that a bug or anything? Or is it just that the car's drag coefficient changes so weirdly as it goes faster? I don't know. But still, we got 256 kilometers an hour of top speed, which is totally fine for a car with a total cost like this. And that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Also, don't forget to vote on the straw poll. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.